book Life After Divorce is a handbook to help single women who are raising children decide when and where and what to do. The issue of dating is always there because that's the main thing, is to find another man and build another family and try to get everything together. But if you do it too quickly, it creates all kinds of difficulties. And so what you want to do is stabilize yourself. And that it takes about 1 to 2 years to get yourself stable. Nobody wants to wait that long, so they go out and get involved in another relationship. But what happens, you're burning up all your emotional energy trying to build and stabilize yourself, and you don't have the energy mentally to be able to discern another person's character. So you end up dating the same kind of person over and over again. And so what you want to do is to be able to say, this is what I need to do. I've got to stabilize myself. Some issues about whether or not you're ready to start dating is, are you content to be single? If you're not content to be single, you have no reason to be involved in a dating relationship, because all you're going to do is slip off into codependency, like a one-legged person hopping around looking for somebody to hold you up. You find another one-legged person, now you got 2 legs, but you should have 4. And so you've got to be able to reach the point where you are emotionally stable on your own, and you're content to be single. Then secondly, your children, you don't want to drag your kids into a relationship where the other person hates them. There's 2 kinds of families. A blended family is where you have a single mom marrying a man who has no children. And that, I think, over the years to me has been one of the worst case scenarios. Because what happens is, when they're dating, this guy becomes a pal to her boy, who's, say, 12 years old. So all of a sudden they do everything together, they're friends, everything, but he has no authority, so everything works good. So they marry, and he comes back from the honeymoon. It's the 2nd day back. The 12-year-old walks in, throws his pack on the floor, throws his coat on the couch, and goes in the kitchen. And the stepdad said, "What are you doing? Come back in here." Nothing. He goes to the refrigerator. "Your mom said not to eat cookies after you had dinner." But nothing. Finally, he gets up and goes in there and says, "Kid, get in there and get your stuff." He said, "You're not my dad. You can't tell me what to do." And about that time, he grabs the kid, and off in the corner of his eye, he sees this thing flying through the air with fangs and claws, and it's the mother protecting her cub. And at that point, he's the odd man out. So all of a sudden, the relationship's over and it's all done. So unless you get a lot of good counseling, a lot of good help, for a woman to marry a man who doesn't have kids is really, really difficult. The next most one is what we call a compound relationship, which I mentioned earlier, about a single mom marrying a man who has kids already. So now we got, and then, so they get married and they have a couple kids of their own, so we have ours, his, and hers. And everybody treats all their kids differently. But all of a sudden, you got them all in the same situation. And so it takes a lot of help and encouragement and advice to do that. So take the time before you get involved in those things. And that formula about how complicated life gets really complicated when you have all that going on.